How the hell are you supporting Donald Trump at this point? At this point. I'm talking about. I'm talking 4 counts. I'm talking about 4 charges, 91 counts. I mean, people are talking about you could be in prison, running the country from prison for crying out loud. Do I think that's gonna happen? Of course, I don't think that's gonna happen. But I'm just saying, how at this point could you possibly support Donald Trump?
First of all, I'll tell you right now, between him and Joe Biden, this isn't even a question. Joe Biden sucks. He's terrible at facts. And we do have to acknowledge that before COVID-19, despite all the circus and the phony investigations, the Russia collusion thing was phony. That's now come out to be proven. Despite all of the distractions in the circus, he actually did the job as president of the United States. Every demographic group was doing well under Donald Trump. Literally. Every demographic group was doing well. Our border was secure. There were no foreign wars that anybody was talking about that we were entangled in. Our country was booming. Energy prices were low. We were energy independent, something that every politician had said that they wanted to do. Donald Trump actually was able to make all that stuff happen. Now let's look at the actual charges. Do you mean to tell me that because a president of the United States had classified documents, who, by the way, former presidents still have their security clearance, they still get the daily presidential briefing, that now somehow this is a threat to national security? That is a joke. Especially considering the fact
that's the craziest part about it.
Yeah,
that's insane.
It serves their agenda.
How can they say
I like this guy?
It was against the law. Yeah, this is my first time.
He might be the VP.
Byron Donalds. Hold on.
Y'all didn't know that?
You want to come on the Cartier family?
Let me
remember his name.
He might end up being the VP or Vivek.
You seen Byron before?
Yeah,
I think Vivek's gonna be on the cabinet.
Everybody think he's the highest person that's probably gonna be.
I'd like to see him be VP based on what I've seen right now.
Byron Donalds.
I think he's a well-spoken guy.
He look like Aaron Donald, brother.
They say it's between him.
Bro. Don't he look like he's on the line, bro?
Yeah.
I think he played football.
They say it's between him, Vivek,
brother,
and Tim Scott.
Hold on, brother. If he VP potential.
Played.
Oh, he did play.
I feel like he did.
Is it messed up? I prefer him over Tim Scott.
Ain't no brother.
No, it's not. I like listening to him talk more than
in high school. I know. Okay, yeah, high school. I'm saying college, NFL.
I enjoy listening to him speak more than Tim.
I like this dude.
No disrespect to Tim. I like Tim as well.
I like him and my boy from Texas. What's his name?
Wesley.
Yeah,
Wesley Hunt.
I like Wesley
Hunt. We need to get all the black. We need to go to a black conservative event.
I would love to do that. I'm not gonna lie. I would actually love that.
Make you feel better. When we walked in, everybody start put on guys. Baby, you're not tripping. They tripping. I was like, thank you.
Who, by the way, former presidents still have their security clearance. They still get the daily presidential briefing. That now somehow this is a threat to national security. That is a joke, especially considering the fact that the only way the National Archives could even bring this charge, or excuse me, the FBI and the Department of Justice could bring this charge, is that the White House counsel, who works for Joe Biden, had to allow it. That's one. Two, what's going on in Georgia, I'm sorry, flat out wrong. And every candidate who runs is allowed to challenge election results. Every candidate. It's not some RICO charge. That's insane to me. And then when you take the other two charges, the one in New York, that one is just really, really stupid. And then the last one, this January 6th one.
Okay.
They have no, hold on, this is important, Stephen. I want to lay this out.
Please, go ahead.
They have nothing that proves that Donald Trump encouraged, organized, structured anything that happened with January 6th. This is weaponization of the Justice Department against a political rival. And it's flat out wrong. And here's my example for that. One of my colleagues, Steve Scalise, who was shot at the congressional baseball practice. The shooter said in his manifesto, the reason he went to shoot up the Republican baseball practice is because Bernie Sanders was saying that the Republicans wanted to take away health care, and he felt it was wrong. Are we bringing Bernie Sanders up on charges because Bernie Sanders was using his political speech and it led wrongfully for some knucklehead to come almost kill Steve Scalise? No, we don't do that. That's not the standard of justice. So just because they're using justice,
look at Stephen there.
He scratched his face. He said, "Damn,
his brother kind of sounds He's like, he got to make some points here.
You can't argue what he's saying.
You can't argue what he's saying at all.
He's saying it well. He's saying it. He's laying it out for you. It's like he's showing the double standard. He's just like laying it out there.
Do I want to be on the delusional stupid side, or do I want to sound like this brother when someone asks me about politics? Simple as that.
The shooter said in his manifesto, The reason he went to shoot up the Republican baseball practice is because Bernie Sanders was saying that the Republicans want to take away health care, and he felt it was wrong. Are we bringing Bernie Sanders up on charges because Bernie Sanders was using his political speech and it led wrongfully for some knucklehead to come almost kill Steve Scalise? No, we don't do that. That's not the standard of justice. So just because they're using the justice system in a weaponized fashion doesn't take away Donald Trump's liberty to run for office or to be supportive for office.
Well, let me come back at you. This is just my personal opinion, my humble opinion. Sure. Nothing compared to you in terms of the knowledge, because you do this for a living. Let me say this to you. Number one, I think the charges in New York are bogus. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time, waste of government. No argument there. No argument there. Georgia, there, they got him on tape with those 11,700 votes he was seeking. Yeah, but I get it. I understand you. Now, the files at Mar-a-Lago, you had no business removing them from the White House. You saw the interview that he did with Brett Baer for Fox News, which I thought was epic. Okay, talking about you had shoes and socks and whatever the hell else he is in those boxes. Clearly that wasn't the case. There was files in there. And more importantly, all you had to do was give the Department of Justice what they were asking for. You know, remember, they came to him and asked him for it, and he had refused to give it back. According to the report, you would know more than me. I'm certainly only going by what I'm reading, okay? So so to me, that's problematic, because if there's anything that's potentially endangering national or jeopardizing national security, they shouldn't be in your bathroom or your bedroom at your spot at Mar-a-Lago. It should be contained. It should be in a secure location, because potential lives are at stake. Now let's get to the insurrection.
Hold on. I want to hear this next part. Let him out.
I would like to figure out what time talking about though. They immigrants get credit cards. What does that mean though?
Man, he talking about national security, and they got immigrants having credit cards. It's not even in.
They said through 2025, New York will spend $15 billion accommodating immigrants. $15 billion. $5 billion to build a border wall, but $15 billion is too much. But $15 billion to accommodate illegals and let them live in our country for free on our tax dollars is not too much.
Imagine that money went to education, security.
Hold on, though.
I'm finna mess you up. The immigrants, you know how they protested?
What they got to do? Was Trump right for the documents at Mar-a-Lago?
Because they trying to. I know, but I'm just saying they saying a national security threat. That is a national security threat.
He's pointing out the standard of y'all will say what Trump did is national security threat, but not say what the illegals are doing is national security threat.
The illegals being here at all is a national security threat.
Their mother and their grandmother knows that that's a national security threat.
But they don't really. They'll cry about this being national security, but not that.
But also, I feel like if you're in Trump's shoes, and I don't know if these people were against Trump or not. Like, a lot of people were, though. Would you give your some documents up? Yes. I mean, maybe if they was asking.
Well, Hillary burnt documents.
But like,
she destroyed her phone.
She destroyed
That's the worst thing you could ever do.
She destroyed a laptop and a computer.
And I know, like, these people don't
emails.
like me. The government, Richmond don't like me. I'm not gonna give up the documents. I'm gonna say, man, F y'all. I'm keeping my documents.
Yeah.
So that's why
it's the principle. But I want to see, because he already called it an insurrection.
Spot at Mar-a-Lago. It should be contained. It should be in a secure location, because potential lives are at stake. Now let's get to the insurrection. I'm going to shock you here. I do think he incited. I do think he was irresponsible. I do not believe it was criminal. I do not believe that. I think it was highly inappropriate and wrong. There's no excuse for him to be, when they were trying to certify the election, there was no excuse for him to go out there and rally and tell them, we're going to go up to the U.S. Capitol. We've got to stop this. And, supporting people screaming about hang Mike Pence, because you wanted to get him not to verify or certify the votes, to make sure the transition of power took place peacefully, the peaceful transition of power. I do believe it was an irresponsible thing for him to do. But I don't believe it's criminal. The criminals are the ones that busted into the Capitol. The criminals are the ones that did those things. Not him saying he did use the word peacefully. I'm no fan of I've known, and I'll tell you that story in a second. He did use the word peacefully. He did say that. All right, they want to ignore that, but it's the truth. I got to say that. But it was irresponsible. And in closing, I'll say this. I believe the presidency is a statesmanship position. I don't believe that you can be somebody that is as divisive and dismissive of concerns that don't favor you and be the commander-in-chief of this nation. I think that leads to a divide. I think that's the kind of thing that could create
He's
civil
describing the
war
president
in
right
this
now,
nation.
though.
And that is my concern. To that you say what?
Well, a couple things. First, I'll say with respect to the January 6th charges, yes, he said peacefully. We'll go to the Capitol. We'll protest peacefully. And in every one of his statements, he's always saying we'll protest, but we protest peacefully and we follow the law. The other thing I will add about January 6th, because of my time on the Oversight Committee, is Donald Trump authorized 10,000 National Guard troops on January 4. So if he was trying to have violence at the Capitol, why would he authorize National Guard troops 2 days before to be at the Capitol?
What a fact.
And the only person who said no to the National Guard being at the Capitol was Nancy Pelosi, because
Democrat.
Nancy Pelosi, being Speaker of the House at the time, is in charge of Capitol security. I know they don't report on this stuff, but that's the stuff that came out in the Oversight Committee. The second thing I'll say, going on what happened in Georgia, I've listened to that phone call. Everybody's listened to that phone call with him and Raffensperger. He's allowed to say, man, hey, I'm just looking for these votes. That doesn't mean there's a criminal conspiracy. It just simply doesn't. Now to the documents, and this is the important one.
Okay.
With the document situation, every former president has taken classified information with them when they leave the White House. Every single one. The National Archives Act gives them the Presidential Records Act, excuse me, let me make sure I say it right, gives every president a 5-year period to negotiate back and forth with NARA. It's always been an administrative process. With respect to them being, the picture of them being in the bathroom, I've been to Mar-a-Lago 10 times now. You just can't walk through Mar-a-Lago willy-nilly because Secret Service protection is on the ground securing the president's personal quarters at Mar-a-Lago. So when they show these pictures, that's because the FBI took that picture and then leaked that picture to the press. It wasn't that somebody put it on their Instagram. That's the way they would want it to seem, but that's not actually the case. So the president, under the Presidential Records Act, not just him, but every president has the ability to go back and forth with the National Archives about what material is in a former president's possession, and they do that. I truly believe what happened here is that you had some bureaucrat at the National Archives was basically like, oh, I saw something, let's go in there and get it. They couldn't do it on their own. And so you had to have the White House counsel's office sign off on it because the president, Joe Biden, had to basically revoke Donald Trump's presidential privileges in order to send in the FBI.
Okay.
Wow.
This dude is smart as hell.
I like Byron.
I'm going to try to find you, Brian, and I'm going to try to get you on this channel.
Byron.
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 All right. Our minds went to the same thing instantly.
Sound like a siren.
I like Byron. No, I really enjoy listening to him speak.
He kept it 100.
He definitely speaks very well. He knows his stuff, man.
Yeah,
he
came with facts.
He was laying it out there.
It wasn't no emotion with his. He said, "Well, this and that happened, and this law and that law." Woo, woo, woo. We can't argue with that. Can't argue with that.
Hey, bro,
can't argue with that.
Stephen A. scratched his face.
Hey, you know what would be a great video? I don't know. You can't.
Her
video.
versus him versus
Stephen A.
I'd love to see him go talk to y'all favorite woman,
Joy Reid.
I would love that actually.
They probably got that already.
I would love that actually.
I
really don't like Joy at all.
At the voting booth, but seeing Stephen A. vote,
He gonna hit this.
Awesome video.
He gonna
He ain't got no choice. Ooh, he gonna hit it, bro.
He
I
gonna
promise
say,
he
I had
gonna
no
vote.
I think
choice
so,
to
too.
hop off the porch.
Like,
because he has changed a lot from
Bro,
right here to what
so
we just reacted
YouTube
to.
does it to people, bro. Ever since he's been on YouTube, just getting content from people, he just like, hold on.
Because the people on YouTube don't have a bias. They say what they really think. Like
Ever
us.
since he's been on YouTube, guys. Oh, Stephen A. A couple years, brother. He gonna be screaming Vivek Ramaswamy.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think everyone.
I think he
will.
likes him though already, probably. I don't really know.
They
guys
said
that listen
Vivek
like
is
that.
genius level.
I mean, we've seen it with our own eyes firsthand.
Yeah.
The way he
multiple
talks,
times.
You cannot debate Vivek.
You can't.
I've never seen him lose a debate.
I've never seen him
Never.
stutter. I've never seen him stutter.
Got a Floyd, he got a
I've
Floyd
never seen
record
him
right
stutter
now.
or fumble his words ever. Like it's like he's so clear
Yeah.
in his mind with what his like precision is, what he's gonna say. It's like it's almost like you're freaking
Scary.
talking to a robot.
Yeah, it is very scary.
There's no one I've ever met
He's
like
so
that in my
good,
life.
people are scared
He's like a
that he
robot.
might be a threat to the democracy of how good he talks.
Nazi rhetoric.
He's a no, he's just too good. No, he's too good. What do y'all want? But okay, guys. Yeah, let us know what y'all think about Byron and Stephen A.
We rock with you.
Stephen A. has came a long way, guys.